when I was 15. My dad was wrestling in Nashville, Tennessee. I moved with him, and when my mom finally arrived in Nashville, she had just driven all the way across country from California, and I knew that my parents were going through some really tough times in terms of their marriage, and that was a tough day. I'll never forget it. It was probably about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We were at a restaurant, the three of us, and they got into it. They got into a very big fight. Not physical, but just really loud arguing. And my dad had a car at that time, and so they got into that car. My dad was driving, my mom was in the passenger seat, and I get in the car that my mom just drove, the family car, and I start driving it. I already had my license at that time at 15. And we're driving down I-65. I-65 is a major interstate that runs through Tennessee. And I'm watching them drive in front of me, and their car starts swerving, and I can clearly see that they are arguing. My old man makes a hard right, and he gets on the shoulder, and in the gravel road, my mom gets out of the car, and when she got out of the car, I'll never forget it, she had a glazed look over her eyes that I had never seen before. And she walks right into the middle of I-65 and continues to walk down into oncoming traffic. And my heart stopped. Horns were blowing and cars were swerving out of the way. 18-wheelers were swerving out of the way. And I got out of the car and I grabbed her and wrestled her over to the side of the road. And I don't remember what I said to her. I remember she didn't say a thing. And in that moment, one of the greatest lessons I've ever learned was how precious life is and how in an instant it can all go away. Changed me. The irony is, my mom has no idea that it even happened. That's the irony. That's also the beauty of it. She does not remember anything. Thank God, because maybe it's too traumatic to remember. I've learned the power that we have to make other people happy and content in a relationship. And I have the love of my life, Lauren, who I've had for 8 years now. I wake up every day so grateful and so thankful that you have someone like that, someone who you could walk through this world with. This is the kid who grew up an only child, who shouldered all the family's problems. It's that kid who had a hard time with relationships. To this man today. So, yeah, the smile is real when I think about that. And I realized being a father is the greatest job I have ever had, the greatest job I will ever have. I always wanted to be a great dad. I always wanted to give Simone things that I felt I never got. When I held her when she was born, I held her in these two hands and I said to her, I will always, always take care of you for the rest of your life. You are safe. I literally held her in these two hands. And throughout the years, throughout the ups and downs, I've realized that the most important thing that I could do with my daughter is lead our life with love. Not success, not fame, not anything else, but I'm always here for you. I love you. There was a time where I said, do me a favor, I want you to tell me, what is the thing that you love most about our relationship? And she's like, oh, come on. And I'm like, no. What's the one thing that you love most about our relationship? And she said, well, that I trust you. And for a 13-year-old girl to say that to her dad, considering where I was at 13, the instability I had, and she said, well, that I trust you and that we have a very special bond. And that moved me. And so, you know, at 13, she's saying that, and you know, I couldn't ask for anything else. I love that girl. Yeah. I found that with depression, one of the most important things you could realize is that you're not alone. You're not the first to go through it. You're not gonna be the last to go through it. And oftentimes it happens. You feel like you're alone, and you feel like it's only you, and you're in your bubble. And I wish I had someone at that time who could just pull me aside and, hey, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. So I wish I knew that. Just gotta remember, hold on to that fundamental quality of faith. Have faith that on the other side of your pain is something good. After about a month and a half of staying in that little apartment and cleaning, I got a phone call from the head coach of the team who cut me, the head coach of the Calgary Stampeders. He called me and he said, hey, I know we cut you, but I'd like you to come back. I said, okay, I appreciate that, coach. Thank you very much. I'll think about it. And he said, okay, great. I hung up the phone, and my dad said, you gonna do it, right? I said, no, I don't think so. I think I'm done with that. And he goes, what? I said, my gut tells me I'm done. He said, what are you gonna do? I took a deep breath. I said, I'd like to get into the business. He said, what business? I said, the wrestling business. He said, you are throwing it all away. It is the worst mistake you will ever make. He said, you're ruining your career. I said, maybe I'll be no good. But I feel like in my heart I have to do this. And I either need you to train me or need you to not train me. My dad rose to the occasion. He said, I'll train you. And it wound up being one of the greatest chapters in my life.